Hello creation, I hope you're well. I've not just written this, I wrote this, it may have been the day before yesterday. I don't think it was yesterday. Day before yesterday. So, it's called I Transcend This Holy Elevator. I smile in my acknowledgement at how far I have come. Near 6 decades of living life to try live a life of love. Regardless of the pitfalls and the knocks along the way, I found within my happy home, and within that home I'll stay. I smile in my acknowledgement at the parts all others played, those of that testing energy that sought to see my goals delayed. For had they not have been sent to test, then test could not be taken. And how are we meant to fix a heart if a heart could not be broken? I smile in my acknowledgement for the gifts that I've received. A beautiful brace of children in a land of make-believe. Grateful for the fun being had with echoes of loving laughter, and with more gratitude comes lots more fun and a happily ever after. I smile in my acknowledgement and recognition of my guides, who gave me strength and helped me up when no other was by my side. Letting go of all expectation and putting self in the hands of Creator, by trusting and taking leap of faith, I transcend this holy elevator. I like that. Yeah. We've got to be grateful, haven't we? We've got to be grateful, really. If we've not got, if we've not got bombs dropping round us, if we're not in a war zone, if we've taken us power back so that no others do abuse us because we won't let them, if we've found that love for ourselves, living in gratitude, I tell you, it's the best place to be. It really is, being grateful. There's sometimes when, there were one time I was heading off somewhere. I just pulled onto the motorway from the slip road, or I pulled onto the slip road to join the motorway, and then I saw it was stood. It were all stood. The traffic were backed up. There'd been an accident further up, and it were baking hot, really hot day. And we sat there and sat there and sat there, and I looked over, and this guy's getting frustrated, and he sort of shrugs and throws his hands up in air, and and all this sort of stuff. So I just said to him, I said, well, it could be worse, mate. You could be the cause why we're all sat here. It could be you in that accident up there. And that just made him think, because sometimes we're that wrapped up in self that we can't see the bigger picture. We can't elevate ourselves and look at it from a different point of view or perspective. We think about self, which is not, you can't, it's only conditioning, it's only the way of the conditioned, society, that society's conditioned us for the role that you have to play. For your life experience, until you take your power back, until you realise, that it's a big university, and that's why we're here, to learn, and to break those cycles, and to rise beyond that of the selfish, of the self, of the mind, Yeah, we have to we are not the ego mind. You know, we're more than that. God, it makes you all powerful, you know. It does. It does. When you can see beyond the illusion of the bullshit of, you know, the societal restraints and restrictions that conditioned mind has put upon you, or that we've, you know, agreed to come into. Some won't be able to see it from that point of view, or even agree with that, but that's okay, that's cool. It's what I believe. We either pick our lives, or we're given a life, or recommended, or advised to take a life, to get it out of the way. I don't mean take a life, you know, but I mean to live a life, you know, to get that particular one out of the way. Maybe it's a possibility. All possibilities exist. You know, it's all about learning about yourself. It's all about becoming the master creator, as I say time and time again. But it is. It's all about learning about yourself. It really is. So, and when we get to that stage where nothing phases us any longer, because we've faced what we've had to face, and overcome what we've overcome, and we're still here, and we get up, you know, time and again, and we keep coming back and coming back and coming back, until those energies think, you know, this is no defeat in this. No, there's no defeat in it, because this is the universe in the flesh. This is God in the flesh. This is the Creator in the flesh. This is Great Spirit in the flesh. This is all that is in the flesh, just as you are. It's just many don't realise that, and they get wrapped up in the bullshit, and they still think it's about all the physical and there's fuck all else. Well, they're in for an awakening, and some of them it might not be a very nice awakening. You know, it might not. So for some to awaken, it can take the most horrific, traumatic events for some to awaken. You know, if we do it through choice, if we actually think, you know, instead of being that sort of stuff. But everybody's always wherever they're meant to be at any given time, according to the great divine's higher plan. If they want, they'll be elsewhere, won't they? Doing something else, whatever that might be. It's all unfolding. If there's anybody out there who thinks that creation is not in charge, is not the one pulling the strings, because we are creation. Of course creation's pulling the strings. And for lessons to be learned, for creator or creation or whatever to learn about itself, these lessons have to be learned. So we're here to learn at this level of density, you know. But it's all opinion. It's all opinion, isn't it? But I'll tell you what, if by just changing your opinion it makes you feel complete in your body, it makes you unafraid to go in and face your fears and deal with that darkness within, or those traumatic experiences, it's not a bad thing then, is it? So what would I say to that? Change your opinions. You know, heal yourselves, learn to love yourselves, and live happier lives, and you will see this world come together in unity. You will. But you have to come together in unity within yourself first. You know, it's not rocket science, is it? But it takes strength and it takes courage. And unfortunately, as per a lot of people, it's fear that stops them in their tracks. Anyway, just chit-chatting. Whatever you are, may you find your courage and strength to change. Take care.